Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up next on Talk Today, we hear about a breastfeeding conference taking place in October, and later we'll have some open line. Talk Today next on Radio Cayman. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Talk Today. I'm Charles Glidden. Hope you had a great weekend and your week is off to a good start. In October, there will be a Breastfeeding Conference 2025. And this afternoon, we'll hear about that conference and the importance of breastfeeding. Joining me in the studio now are Dr. Layla Jaffrey. She's a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist at Ocean Med. Samantha Hughes, a midwife at Health City, Cayman Islands. And Francis Gomez of CI Breastfeeding Support Group. Ladies, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
Now, if my memory of how things go is serving me correctly, I know, people of my generation, especially in Cayman, of course, were breastfed. But I think it became the sort of fashion to not breastfeed and get that baby on the bottle as soon as possible. Is that how it was? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think there was a point in history where being able to provide formula was a kind of a status symbol for people, and so and then at that time also probably there was not a lot known about the health benefits of breastfeeding, so there was a transition before. Now, of course, we know that there are so many beneficial effects for not just the baby, but also mom and for the community, the greater community. So we're trying to go back to our roots of breastfeeding.
So what is the sentiment now? I mean, you're still promoting breastfeeding, so are you still trying to educate parents? I mean, is that thing still there, but put them on the bottle?
Yeah, I think it varies in terms of the communities that you look at. But yeah, I mean, in some communities, it's still popular to give your infant formula, especially in some young communities. It's just not what's viewed as being in. So yeah, education is an essential part of what all of us do for women.
Now, you're having this conference in October. Tell us about what is planned.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having us. So I am from the Cayman Islands Breastfeeding Support Group, and we are very excited to be having our annual Breastfeeding Conference. This is the second annual, so we had our first conference last year. And the theme for this year is Prioritize Breastfeeding, Create Sustainable Support Systems. And it coincides with the theme of Breastfeeding Week as well for 2025. And we are going to be hosting the conference in the Ark in Camana Bay, October 11th and 12th. And we'll be having keynote speakers, Dr. Amy Brown coming from the UK. We'll have Nancy Moorbacher coming from the US. And we'll have Dr. Darlene Buan-Bassett, who is from Cayman Islands. She's from the Well. She's currently based here. And they will be covering a number of topics related to our theme, which will include what families need to exclusively breastfeed, creating environments where breastfeeding thrives, breastfeeding and mental health, also simplifying breastfeeding the first 36 hours. And then one really exciting part of the conference, which we will be introducing for the first time this year, is that we'll be having workshops for families as well. So after the conference, in the afternoon, both health professionals and families can participate in these workshops. And one of the themes, some of the themes are tongue ties will be covered, and also why breastfeeding matters, parent perspectives, and a society slow to embrace it. So we're very excited. We'll also be having giveaways. We really want to bring the community together, both health professionals and families, to show not only bring education but also awareness about breastfeeding and the importance of it in the community.
So this is aimed at parents also, not just professionals.
Yes, that's correct. So it'll be healthcare professionals, but also families, because like Dr. Jaffrey mentioned, it has to be a community effort. So we're very excited to be able to bring families into it as well this year, to broaden the scope of the conference for 2025.
Now, Samantha, you are a midwife at Health City. Is this part of your education when you're working with a mother, the parents, to educate them about the importance of breastfeeding?
Yeah, most definitely. So really it's so important that we start the education even before they come to us for the birth of their baby, and like getting that set there. The partner can be involved, the family, and educating everybody really, so that they're aware of how they can support breastfeeding beforehand, and then obviously we'll provide support after birth and help them with breastfeeding there as well. So we have to provide a lot of education and kind of like strip it back really, because there's not a lot you need like physically apart from breasts to breastfeed, unlike formula feeding where you need all the bottles, the sterilisation, the formula. So it's just about educating them about feeding cues, how you can support women, and how we can facilitate it and support it so it's sustainable. Because breastfeeding for as long as possible is really beneficial for mum and baby.
Is there still a stigma of women breastfeeding, say, in public places?
I can speak from experience, as I've breastfed all three of my children that I birthed. And I think so. I think, women do tend to get looks from people, especially if you don't cover the way that people feel that you should, or if you're in a place of business where people wouldn't expect to see a breastfeeding mother. I feel like that does exist. And so, again, that's why this conference is so important, because it educates not only families, but also the greater community about how important it is and how we as a society need to come together and support breastfeeding moms.
We're going to take a break here, and we'll come back, and we're going to be hearing more about the conference and breastfeeding.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Storms bring wind, rain, and unexpected costs to buy supplies, secure your home, or make minor repairs. Incidental expenses not covered by insurance. Until now, with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks of a Category 3 or stronger hurricane, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco's homeowners insurance. Visit cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
This summer, Cayman is growing something special. The Backyard Garden Program is here, bringing free grow boxes, seeds, and soil right to your doorstep.
Whether you've got a backyard, a porch, or a balcony, any space can be a space to grow. Food security starts with your first plant.
Apply today. Let's grow healthier, greener Cayman together.
Visit gov.ky/PAHI or contact the Department of Agriculture to learn more.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And here on Talk Today, we're learning about the Breastfeeding Conference that will be coming up in October, and about breastfeeding in general. But let me ask you, how can hospitals and clinics in Cayman build a sustainable system to support breastfeeding, especially in those first days after birth?
I think what's really important, especially after the first days or first hours of birth, is ensuring that skin to skin, we facilitate skin to skin with mum and baby. Even during cesarean deliveries, skin to skin can still be performed. We have to adapt it a little bit, but it can be done. And this really helps to lead on to the first breastfeed, and then providing support for the days after, and educating mum and family that of what's normal and what to expect over the next few days, just so they have like realistic expectations, and give them reassurance that they're doing really well, and and just support them really in those stages.
I would think that you have the full support of the hospitals in Cayman as far as this goes, and promoting breastfeeding.
Absolutely. I think what could be done is to have maybe initiatives where we, clearly everybody on the maternity ward is aware that this is important, but maybe just reminding the whole hospital, because everybody knows somebody who is pregnant or breastfeeding. And so just reminding people that this is an issue that we need to continue to support women in. I feel that hospitals and clinics can work together by having regularly scheduled things like support groups where women who are breastfeeding at different stages can come together and educate each other. And sometimes it's as simple as watching somebody else and seeing what they've gone through to help another woman through maybe a hard patch that she's having. Also, home visits are an excellent thing that hospitals can offer. I know that some of them do. I'm not sure if all of them here do, but if healthcare providers or midwives are able to visit that mom and baby within the first week of them going home so that they can identify any issues that may be a barrier to breastfeeding, those types of things are sustainable. They are, low cost, and they have great rewards if implemented early.
Okay, I see we got an early caller.
Oh, wow.
So let's take that call. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Yes, sir, and good afternoon to your guests.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for letting me in before it's time to be but to be honest with you, I'm hearing what you say, and maybe you laugh at me. It doesn't matter to me. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I think from many years ago, and I know you're Mr. Glidden. Many years ago, everybody had to breastfeed their children. Some, like my grandmother, she had 11, and they were all healthy children. But she always said, when I was the age of doing so myself, she also always said, you have to be careful what you eat. In those days, we ate a lot of fish, shrimp, and lobster. It was hardly any beef. Well, we could get it, but we sold it. That was only for special occasions. Now, then later on, we were told not to eat lobster or shrimp while breastfeeding. Wasn't explained why, because I don't think they knew why at the time being. But it's not something new to the older folks, which I think, well, they can no longer breastfeed or have children. But I think mothers and grandmothers of older children that is having children should, teach their children a little bit more. I watched a lady the other day with I would say the child couldn't have been any more than 4 to 5 weeks old. They were up in the supermarket, and the child was partly half naked, and it's chilly up in there sometimes, especially if they don't have a lot of people. And she just took her bottle and fill that up with some instant milk and pour that down and fed the child. Now, the younger generation of these days, my nieces all breastfed, and there's still one of them that just had a child. She's still doing that. Her children, her two older children, is very, very athletic and they're healthy. You don't hear about them getting sick or anything like that. No. Some of the younger generation say that's old-fashioned. They don't know their boyfriend or their husband ain't gonna love them anymore because they'll my breast is going to drop. Oh no. That's the attitude of some. Now I'm not saying all, but I told my nieces the same thing that my mother and my grandmother told me.
All right. Well, let me get some reaction from Dr. Jaffrey here, okay? And I don't think anyone is laughing at you.
No,
everyone is with you.
Absolutely. I think.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you. I think she made some great, excellent points. Number one, and I'll keep it brief. I think she's right that the family needs to help support breastfeeding mothers. Like she mentioned, she was taught by her mother, who was taught by her mother, and these women are still here, even though they're not able to breastfeed. They have all of this knowledge about that they've gained through their experiences. So absolutely, the family needs to help to support with breastfeeding, and that's one of the things that we encourage is family, friends, go to them if you have issues because they've been through it before. Excellent point. I'm glad she brought that up.
So is there any one policy or practice that you would like to see hospitals, any kind of medical facilities that have as far as breastfeeding is concerned?
I think I'd say that it's really important, and a lot of hospitals do do this anyway, but it's to keep mum and baby together at all times. So it's called like rooming in, so we keep mum and baby together, just so mum can be in tune with baby, the breastfeeding cues, and say for example if any investigations need to be done for baby, they can be done at bedside or even better during breastfeeding, because it helps comfort the baby and can act as a pain relief as well. So just maintaining that they're always kept together, because this will help the bond rooming in and then the progression of breastfeeding.
Well, you mentioned bonding there. How important a role does breastfeeding play in the bonding between mother and child?
It's huge, and that's why I think when she mentioned before, Samantha, the skin-to-skin is encouraged. Those first few minutes of life are extremely important for both mom and baby. Number one, it helps baby physiologically in several ways, including temperature regulation as well as glucose metabolism. But then also it helps to promote early latching, and it helps to ensure or guarantee a better experience overall with breastfeeding. So those things are extremely important. Absolutely.
Would you like to add it to that?
Well, as a volunteer at the Cayman Islands Breastfeeding Support Group, what the caller was saying about having everybody, as well as going, seconding what Dr. Jaffrey is saying, it is a community. It has to be a community support system. So, on our, I know you mentioned hospitals, but on the side of the support group, we offer moms support via phone calls. They can, either WhatsApp messages. We can do home visits. And we're a group of moms, lactation consultants, midwives, and nurses who volunteer our time to help others in whatever stage of breastfeeding they are, whether they're pregnant and have questions, whether they're just giving birth and they just got home after giving birth. So, going just I guess echoing what has already been said by the caller and a few minutes before, that it's a community. It has to be a community exercise, really.
What kind of issues would arise that a mother would be seeking some kind of consultation?
That's a very good question. So, like she said, at all different stages, things can happen, right? So before the mom even has the baby, she can start to produce milk and actually have letdown. So there are questions about, okay, should I save and store my milk? How do I store it? Those types of things are important. Definitely within the first few hours to days after delivering the baby, latching is a big issue, right? So we have to make sure that not just mom learns how to help the baby latch, but the baby has to learn. It's a whole process, and it can be very challenging if you don't have the right type of help there. And that's why it's excellent if the hospital staff is trained on how to assist with a good latch, because that's crucial. After mom and baby have been latching and been feeding, sometimes moms are not sure, is my baby getting enough milk?
Yeah.
So that's where the support groups come in to play, because they're able to be monitored while they're breastfeeding. Sometimes they even weigh the baby to make sure that the baby is growing adequately, and that can help to reassure mom that she's doing the right thing. And then even later on, there are several issues with incomplete emptying. Moms can develop different diseases or even require certain medications that they have a question, can I still breastfeed while taking this? So all of those things are issues that we can help address in the healthcare field.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
There's something new at Subway. Indulge your taste buds with our new barbecue pork rib sandwich tender. Smoky pork ribs smothered in sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, built just the way you like it. It's bold, rich, and seriously satisfying. But hurry, it's here for a limited time only. Order now on the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick in-store pickup, or get it delivered with Bento or Let's Eat. The all-new barbecue pork rib sandwich, only at Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Yummy. Hey, Bobo, Tiri, cousin, everybody. I hear Cayman Airways celebrating their 57th anniversary by giving us the gifts, about 10 of them. Because they got airfares on sale now for flights to every place they fly to next month through December. Look here, I go and book my flights now to go Galawantan this month with Cayman Airways. I'll see you directly.
Catch your seat on sale by August 11th. Other conditions apply. Book on CaymanAirways.com, our new mobile app, or call us on 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 57 years as your award-winning, uniquely Caymanian airline.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020. Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Top Today, and we're talking about breastfeeding. And during the break, we were by saying that back in the day, in 1950s and so forth, there was no choice. And Ms. Gomez, you had an interesting story about during Hurricane Ivan.
Yes, so I wasn't here for Hurricane Ivan, but there's something that resonates with me from when I started. I've been in the support group for just under 3 years, and one of the other volunteers, when I was first starting out, mentioned to me, which I think is amazing. She said that during Ivan, she was a nurse at the time, all moms were able to breastfeed during that time, which it shows that when it has to be done, it is possible. It is possible.
All right. Well, we have touched on a lot of things, but how can employers make it easier for women to breastfeed in the workplace?
So, they can do a number of things. I would say by offering dedicated spaces for moms to be able to pump. Also providing just that flexibility to be able to, maybe flexi time to be able to take time to pump as well. And also just sometimes it's just a little bit of understanding. Like you just want to know that your employer is there for you and that they have a dedicated space, and that goes for everywhere. It could be even at a restaurant where people feel like, oh, you're with a baby, let me put you in this area here so you're a little bit more comfortable, or it could be in a number of ways. Not sure if anybody wants to add anything.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that. I completely agree. I think dedicated space is important, and making sure that space is not somewhere in a bathroom stall.
Yeah.
Because,
yes.
Right, we're talking about nutrition for our children.
Right.
Exactly. And then also maybe just having open policies where they know, that for our breastfeeding mothers, you will get breaks allotted to have pumping time. That way it creates a stress-free environment, because stress can affect your milk letdown. And so moms who are going back to work, they're already stressed about leaving the baby at home. That's a huge barrier, right? And so when they get to work, they don't want to have to be looking at the watch and saying, oh, I got to hurry up and get back to work. They don't want to feel like people are not supporting them at work for breastfeeding. So, those things are
And
essential.
I think, just to add, I think as well, opening up that conversation in your pregnancy with your employer is really beneficial, because it can reduce stress, and you have a plan in place for when you return to work after maternity leave, knowing that it's going to be facilitated for you as well.
But I mean, in an organization where you have a number of women, something should already be in place for that, right?
There should be. I think that that's important as well. If you're an employer or employee going to your employer and asking, are there policies in place? And you don't have to be pregnant to ask that, or breastfeeding at the time, because it's important that we establish those before there's a need for a lot of women.
Now, we said previously about the whole communal effort. How do we get, other members of the family, grandparents, fathers, everybody behind the support of breastfeeding when a new child is brought into the family?
I think one of the main things that's really important is support and reassurance. I think as well, coming from your family members, your partner, the grandparents, people you love, just to be supported, because it may feel like there's a lot of pressure, especially on the mother, to facilitate the breastfeeding and make sure everything's going okay. So to support that, they can help with other things, like helping with washing, providing like food for the family, and like helping to just support the mother in general, as well as reassuring her that everything she's doing is amazing and she's doing a good job. Because it only takes one small comment of, oh, do you think the baby is still hungry? Or do you think we should just give some formula? And it can really knock a mother's confidence that they're not doing as well as they thought they were going to do, or as well as they hoped. So I just think reassurance goes a really, really long way. It's so important.
Absolutely. I want to agree. I want to piggyback family support, right? So oftentimes moms prior to having the infant, are responsible for a lot of household chores. So for family members to step in the first few weeks of life after birth, babies require lots of feedings, right? Moms are feeding at least every 2 to 3 hours. 24 on a 24-hour schedule. So they're not.
They're the only ones sleeping.
They're the only ones not sleeping. The babies are the only ones sleeping.
Yeah, babies.
So I mean, just family members stepping in to help prepare meals and help to clean and to do those things that mom previously did that she's not able to do. Those are huge things.
Should siblings be a part of this?
Absolutely.
Anyone in the household that can assist in any way.
Yeah. It's good for them to see as well that this is how baby's fed and how long the feeds can be and other things that they can do to help mum as well while she's doing it. Because sometimes a feed can be anything from 10 minutes to 1 hour. So even they're feeding regularly, but also the feeds can take a long time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Any myths that we need to dispel?
Myths. I think there's many myths, but one that I hear all the time, which I literally heard on my night shift on Saturday, was, what if I don't have enough milk or I don't have milk? And I just think that ladies need to remember and have faith in their body. Their body has made this beautiful baby for them. It's not going to let them down now once the baby is born. And just educating them that they're going to have colostrum for the first few days and then your milk will come in day 3, day 4. And just having some faith in their bodies. You might not see colostrum straight away, like Dr. Jaffrey said. Some ladies, they produce before, some don't. But I think people do worry that if they don't see any, they don't have any. So that's a big myth, but that's not the case.
I think another myth is that, if you're taking certain medications, you have to stop breastfeeding. And what we know is that there are medications that are found in the breast milk, and it's usually to very, very small amounts that the babies aren't affected. But majority of medications can be taken safely, and if they are not safe for breastfeeding, there's often an alternative that can be offered. So before a mother decides to stop breastfeeding, I think it's important to speak to a healthcare provider that knows and that can give her the answer, because what we don't want to do is waste that important liquid gold that the baby needs.
So the body has its own filtration system to protect the baby?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, Good to know. So, I mean, you don't even have to watch your diet, which was brought up earlier. I mean.
Well, no, because the breast is designed to extract from the mom exactly what the baby needs, the essential vitamins and nutrients that the baby needs. It also takes from the mom components of her immune system to help to protect baby from infections, because when babies are first born, their immune systems are very immature. And so mom provides baby protection from simple things like colds and flus that maybe the other siblings bring home. So those things the body has really been well adapted to accommodate for infants.
So Breastfeeding Week is in October while you're having the conference?
So Breastfeeding Week is right now.
Oh, it's today? It's this week?
Yes. And the conference will be held October 11th and 12th. And I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge all of those who are making this conference possible. So to all of our sponsors, we have Ocean Med, who is our principal sponsor, and we also have Doctors Hospital and Integra Healthcare, Health City Cayman Islands, the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability, and Walkers, who are our platinum sponsors. So they are making this event possible and offering their support to the community via the Breastfeeding Conference 2025. So thank you so much.
So is there anything that individuals can do during Breastfeeding Week to help the cause?
So I would say if you'd like more information on the conference itself for October, you can go to the Cayman Islands Breastfeeding Support Group Facebook page. We have the event is there, and you can register via a link already. So we would like everybody to as many people to register as possible. So we're calling on families, all healthcare professionals on island, any students that would like to also partake, any medical students that would like to partake as well. And for Breastfeeding Week, like I said, the topic, the theme for the Breastfeeding Week for this year is prioritize breastfeeding, create sustainable support systems. So anyway, whether you have someone at home or not that is breastfeeding, any way that you can offer your support, like Dr. Jaffrey was mentioning, just showing some grace to someone that might be feeding at the time, or giving them a little bit of space, or offering that extra time from employers. So it really depends on each situation. But if you're able to give that mom the reassurance that we're all behind her, I think that goes a long way.
So good. You just go to the website and you can just register there?
Yes. So we have the Breastfeeding Support Group has our Facebook page. So if you're not following us, I ask you to go ahead and follow us, because you'll have all the information there. However, you can search on Facebook, Cayman Islands Breastfeeding Support Group, and you will go to our page and you'll see the event. You can also find the event on Eventbrite, which is eventbrite.com, and you can also search Breastfeeding 2025 there, and you'll find the event that way as well.
Can you just show up on the day? I mean,
you can show up on the day, but we are encouraging everybody to register early, because we will be providing lunch on the day. We'll be providing certain coffee breaks and things. So we would like to have the numbers as early as possible. As if you, we're trying to get everybody registered as early as possible due to that. Yes.
All right. Dr. Layla Jaffrey, Samantha Hughes, and Francis Gomez. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about the importance of breastfeeding and this upcoming conference. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much.
It's 1 o'clock here at Radio Cayman. Time for news headlines.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your latest headlines. A grand court trial gets underway today with the accused facing 13 charges of sexual assault involving a child. Travis Anthony Boyd is accused of committing the crimes between 2021 and 2022, when the complainant was between 13 and 15 years old. He denies the allegations. In international headlines, dozens of Palestinians were killed or wounded today as desperate crowds headed toward food distribution points and airdrop parcels in the Gaza Strip. That's according to witnesses and local health officials. Israel's blockade and military offensive have made it nearly impossible to safely deliver aid, contributing to the territory's slide toward famine nearly 22 months into the war with Hamas. Aid groups say Israel's week-old measures to allow more aid in are far from sufficient. Families of hostages in Gaza fear starvation affects them too, but they blame Hamas. Several thousand workers at 3 Midwest manufacturing plants where Boeing develops military aircraft and weapons went on strike early today, potentially complicating the aerospace company's progress in regaining its financial footing. The union says the strike started at Boeing facilities in St. Louis, St. Charles, Missouri, and Mascoutah, Illinois, after 3,200 local members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers voted Sunday to reject a modified 4-year labor agreement. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. Following the 1932 hurricane, like most young men growing up in Cayman in that era, the call of the sea was heard more strongly than any other. Keith Tibbetts Sr. of Cayman Brac was no different. After assisting with the rebuilding of the family home, resurrecting the family car, and helping other relatives and the community rebuild, he built and sold several catboats before going to Jamaica to seek employment as a seaman, and his long distinguished career got started on September 25, 1935, when he stepped on board the schooner Admiral Sturdy, which his father built and was later sold to the Colonel family. A year later, he joined the Canadian banana boat Lady Somers in Canada. During his seagoing year, he visited several ports in England and made 11 trips around the continent of Africa, including a distinguished military career. This was part 3 of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. A little weather check here at Owen Roberts International. We have 89 degrees and it feels like 105. Winds out of the southeast at 8.5 knots. Humidity 72%. Forecast calling for thunderstorms into the evening and into the night. I heard some thunder this morning. I haven't heard any since. And looking at the radar there, yep, we got some showers around the Cayman area. So, there's always that possibility we're going to get some rain. And boy, that was a heavy downpour on Saturday here in Georgetown. It was coming down in buckets. And the National Hurricane Center in Miami says there's some disturbances around. We got Tropical Storm Dexter. No threat to us. Dexter is out there moving into the Atlantic, and they think that will not affect Bermuda either. If you have any family or friends in Bermuda, they're hoping that will stay north of Bermuda. There's also Disturbance 1 out into the Atlantic. A tropical wave located just off the west coast of Africa is currently producing minimal showers. They got some favorable conditions for gradual development, but looks like that's going to take a turn and go north-northwest, and the Atlantic won't come our way. And another disturbance there off the southeast coast of the U.S., so we don't have to worry about those for the time being. Well, let's hope we have a good August with no storms coming our way, at least. But this is the peak. We're going into the peak here now, August, September. That is the busy time. I was reading an Associated Press report that was saying that Americans are reporting that they took a poll, and Americans are saying, the price of food is causing them stress. It's not only here in Cayman, but, if the Americans are stressed over the cost of living, and especially the cost of food, what are we in Cayman experiencing? Must be more in stress, because if they're paying more, we're paying even more than they are, right? So I guess we would be justified, or it would be understandable if we were not only stressed, we might be having anxiety attacks over the cost of living and food, because, boy, going into the grocery store, it just seems it doesn't end. Week after week, it just keeps going up. And people call on the government to do something. Not too much the government can do. Maybe they could lower, the import duties, but then you got another problem. They lower import duties. Well, then the government isn't bringing in as much money. They got to cut back on this, cut back on that. And we've heard a lot of things about sourcing food from countries that it would be cheaper. But then you got the problem of supply chain. How do you get shipping connections to those places? And, it's no simple solution. And the cost of living, it just in and of itself is a complicated thing. What causes the cost of living to go up? I was fooling around researching that question. The cost of living rises due to a variety of factors. And we heard the director of the Economics and Statistics Office tell us about the same thing, saying, it's a very complicated item. It's not just one thing that causes it. And it has a variety of factors, primarily related to inflation, but also influenced by supply and demand dynamics. Again, if some people want something, the price goes up. They don't want it, the price goes down. Global events, government policies, but inflation is a key driver. It's essentially an increase in the general price level of goods and services in an economy over a period of time. And this means your money simply doesn't buy as much as it used to. And some of the things causing inflation: increased production costs, rising costs of raw materials, labor, or transportation being more expensive. All this leads business to increase the prices, because if you're in business, you can't, continue in business if you're not covering your prices, right? And I know sometimes people say, well, they don't need to charge that much. And I guess sometimes they don't. They could cut back a little bit on the price. You go to one place and you see something that costs the very same item, and over at this place, it's maybe 25 cents, 50 cents more than what it is over at some other place. Of course, we don't know what everybody's overhead is, but makes you wonder. And maybe not when it's just in a sense, but when you see something that maybe costs a couple of dollars more in one place as opposed to some other store. And there is that, possibility of gouging. People go for whatever the market will stand for. And sometimes it just gets too expensive, and you say, I'm leaving it there. But strong demand for something is going to drive up the forces, drive up the cost of something. So if something is very popular or people need something, and especially if the supply can't keep up with the demand, you're going to see the price go up. Fiscal and monetary policies, actions like tax cuts or lower interest rates. In our case, tax cuts would be getting the import duty. That is a tax. Getting the import duty lowered. And, of course, interest rates, especially if you're using a credit card, the interest rates can just eat you alive if you were doing a lot of credit card spending. And global events. We all saw that demonstrated during COVID-19. The war in the Ukraine can cause things like they are a big wheat producer. So any kind of disruption to that would cause supply chains, and the supply can't get out to people, so there's still that demand for wheat. The housing market, that's another thing that we're facing here in Cayman. The demand for housing. We've seen rents go sky high, and there doesn't seem to be a lack of housing. There may be a lack of affordable housing, but man, we're seeing a lot of concrete being poured and a lot of apartments going up. We always have more and more people coming into the country. We can see that from the number of work permits that we have. Those are increasing all the time. That means more people coming in to Cayman, and they all need a place to live. Wage growth. While increased wages can help offset the rising cost of living, they can also contribute to inflation if they outpace productivity gains. And I guess we're going to get that test in January or following January when the minimum wage goes up. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Oh, that's a coincidence. That's who I called. Anyway, good afternoon, Charlo. Peter Schmidt here.
Yes, good afternoon, Peter.
Yes, I just wanted to put in a word with regards to the cost of food in particular, perhaps other items as well. During the campaign, we heard a lot from our candidates and as a matter of fact, the same thing happened with previous governments, exploring other sources of foods and perhaps other supplies. And I think it's particularly important now because anything that passes through the U.S. now, even if it comes from a third country, has a toll on it.
Yeah.
If it goes through a U.S. port, there's X amount of toll on it, even if it's just in transit. and it's and we know that. Even the U.S. themselves will, the speakers will admit that they have become a service economy similar to ours here, where in fact nothing much is produced other than services.
Mm-hmm.
So that results then in everything having to, most things having to be imported by the U.S. and in our case, further sold by middle merchants. To countries like us, and if we were able to establish supply lines that omit that middleman, that we don't have to go through the U.S. first, that it can come directly here. I know we're a small market, but I believe there was a move afoot Caribbean-wide from CARICOM perhaps to explore. Somebody's cutting in. Did you?
I think we got a little gremlin in the control room.
Oh, okay. I thought I might have been cut off for being boring. Anyway, so I really think I'd like to hear a little more on the efforts of getting perhaps achieving some savings, some cost lowering from if we get things from other sources.
Yeah, I know it's been brought up, and I heard about some CARICOM effort to all the CARICOM countries to try and get I don't know if it was air cargo or ships. I don't know. I haven't heard any more about how that is going, but that is putting that together is not an easy task. Because just the whole logistics of shipping, it can be a nightmare.
I understand and I agree with you on that, and that's probably a reason why it hasn't been successful in efforts of that nature in the past. But the longest journey starts with the first step, and it was a topic during campaign. Unless we want to say that politicians will say anything during a campaign, and even if they don't mean it. And I think, if there is an effort, I think the populace would appreciate hearing of things being in the works, and even some of the problems that might be encountered along the way. I think people are understanding, but at least it would sound like the effort is actually seriously being made to achieve some sort of relief, in particularly for those that are at the low end of the income.
Well, they feel it the most.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing is, just in terms of inflation, a lot of inflation is resulting if the country has a big national debt. Because I look at the U.S. dollar, for instance, how it compares to some other currencies, not necessarily regionally, but extra-regional in Europe, etc. And you see the dollar weakening across the board and has been weakening, which means you automatically have to fork out more money for the same amount of goods if your currency is decreasing in purchasing power.
Especially when you're importing so much.
Yes. Recently I read where the interest payments on the national debt in the U.S. is in hundreds of billions of dollars per annum. That puts a lot of pressure on tax revenue, etc. So anyway, some of the things we can influence and some we can't, but I think researching the possibility of finding other food sources and even perhaps other items that are manufactured somewhere else, and like my Whirlpool appliances, for instance, seem to be originating in Mexico, but I believe our supplier, the local supplier, gets his supplies through the U.S. Anyway,
I guess that's the easiest way to get them to Cayman, though.
Of course.
Of course.
but perhaps we have to go beyond the easiest way.
And I know there's been some visits by government officials to places like Honduras and other places to explore the possibilities of opening trade with them. But it doesn't seem to ever go beyond the visit.
Which is strange, because if you recall, when Hurley Marin started off with the fruit and produce from Costa Rica, the freighter, Laxas freighter used to come in here, stop and drop off what we needed here. I recall, working in the hotels and ordering fruit and vegetables from Hurley, and then getting it when the freighter comes in. And for some reason, it seemed to work back then, and now it doesn't seem to be successful anymore.
Well, I guess we still had that connection with Laxa.
Yeah. I know we do bring in some provisions from Jamaica, I think, in the belly cargo of Cayman Airways. And so I think more need to be done.
Well, that Jamaica probably is most has the most possibility of an alternate source than any place else because of the flights, and I think we have ships to go between Jamaica and Cayman also, right?
Yeah, and there's a daily flight just about, so there is belly space available now. The aircraft aren't always totally fully booked up, so there is capacity both in weight and in space.
Well, it would certainly be nice if something could develop, and we have some alternatives, but we keep hearing of these efforts, but it doesn't seem like it goes very far.
Well, unfortunately, I haven't even been hearing.
Not in recent times. No, not in recent times. No.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I wish you a good day. I have to run. It's my 54th anniversary today.
Oh, well, you better get everything in place.
I know.
And congratulations.
Thank you. You have a good day, Chalo.
All right, Peter. Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
Yes, we've heard about these things. Delegations going to various places to explore the possibility of opening trade. But you have to have, shipping. You got to have some kind of, either whether it is air cargo or surface with, ships coming in here to our port. Something has to get it here. There's possibilities of getting, especially like fruit and various vegetables from places other than the U.S. But you still have to have the means of getting it to the Cayman Islands. We have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. Happy Monday.
Same to you.
Thank you. I heard you mentioning rent and that sort of conversation there a few minutes ago before the last caller. And I always try to take the opportunity to call in and try to offer something to that discussion. I am still hoping that our new government, I know it's still relatively new for them, it's just been about, 3 months, still hoping that they will soon release the amended Residential Tenancies Act. I have always been of the opinion that the Cayman Islands need, like yesterday, strong landlord and tenant policies. And I think that in itself contributes to a lot of the defaults in the rental market and in the housing, because I have noticed, and I've had discussions with people, even with Caymanian developers, whether developers or Caymanians who are just building a place for rent, And before I say this, I wanted to say I hope that the planning department also is doing some revisions and, coming up with some ways that will make the process a little bit more less strenuous for Caymanian homeowners that may want to put an addition on in order to offer a rental a rental facility, a rental accommodation. So they don't have to go through the entire planning process that all the stringent regulations that the planning has to do to make the structures up to our international standards and hurricane standards and that sort of thing. So hoping that planning is working on something in that area, so more people who want to do it can add on a place to offer for rent, whether it is to help with the market and or to have that extra income or whatever the case may be. But getting back to the Residential Tenancies Act and so forth, I do believe that we definitely need that. That is a shortfall that it causes an insecurity in many landlords and tenants in the market to rent. And I get to understand that many developers, Caymanians even, and when I say developers, small time developers, and some Caymanians may be constructing a small apartment property, like maybe a duplex or a few apartments or whatever, and they are as not inclined to rent to Caymanians as they probably should be, instead opting to rent to persons that could probably be looked upon as more reliable.
Or Airbnb.
Right, that too. But, persons that may be more in professional fields that may be more dependable and reliable to pay their rent and so forth. And so that's kind of marketing working class and lower caste Caymanians out of the rental market. And I have also realized that for the absence and lack of the a tribunal to deal with landlord and tenancies acts or to address stringently deposits and all the other things that goes into the laws, for the lack and absence of those in place, we have a lot of persons that just simply do not want to rent to Caymanians, or they're even afraid to rent. So I really call upon our government to make that a priority. Like I said, I'm aware that they're still relatively new. They're dealing with a lot of things. Any government that took over, would have to deal with this. But I hope that it's at the top of their list, a priority. And I want to call that, there are a lot of, I don't know if you had a chance to look at that amendment, but I would encourage you to look at the amendment. It is on the legislation, I think, legislation.ky website. It would be good to see what the last government was working on to bring that forward. But I encourage them to try to work on it. And anyone that's developing with properties, I don't know if it's because they want to get the most for their properties or it has to do with financing, but it seems as though no one is remembering these days that, there are people out there that cannot afford to rent at market value. Let's put it like that. And so no one, even our own Caymanians, are forgetting that, there are people out there that cannot afford to rent at market value. And then you have property owners that are renting to persons who are here on work permits that are overcrowding their apartments and overusing the amenities of the apartments, and that in itself brings a lot of stress onto landlords also. So just listening to your discussion there's a bit of variables that's going into that, but I really think the Residential Tenancies Act coming out would solve a lot of those problems, not all, but it certainly would pave the way and make the market a little bit more manageable and give people a more comfortable and secure peace of mind in terms of being out there marketing, renting.
What kind of things would you like to see in there?
Well, what I would like to see in there, I basically had already submitted to the government. And
give us some examples.
Well, I definitely wanted to see a tribunal. I wanted to see where if we had persons that are in our armed forces or law enforcement that if they had to move from one location or another, they wouldn't be penalized for losing their for breaking their lease. Like if we had a police officer that was stationed in West Bay or someone in our armed forces or paramedic or something that was stationed in West Bay or the fire station, and then they moved them to East End, and then they had to change station.
Or to Cayman or something.
Right. I mean, someone might say, well, if he lives in West Bay, it's not a long drive for him to Cayman to East End or whatever. But yes, true, to Cayman they wouldn't be penalized for having to break their lease if they wanted to relocate. Sorry. One moment, please. Sorry. There were other things that kind of crossed over with the Sexual Harassment Act in terms of persons not being harassed. We wanted they addressed whether I didn't really put this, but it was submitted where if persons that it would potentially be a criminal offense if persons deposits were utilized instead of being put in an escrow account. They of course the amount of time you could give, the notice time and dates, and there's a lot of. I mean, it's a really extensive document, and
I think a lot of times too, some tenants, I guess, there's a lack of experience or sophistication, education of what should be in a lease. I mean, it should be laid out that you will have that deposit if you have not damaged the place, that you're going to get your deposit back within, a week. Give the landlord time to inspect the property. That there's a deadline for the landlord to get you that deposit back, to refund it. Right. Or even in the case of where you have to move, that there's some kind of 30-day notice provided for in the lease itself, that if I give you 30 days, I can break the lease. You're going to give the landlord, a week's notice, because then they don't have time to try and rent the place.
Right.
But yeah, tenants have to, I think, educate themselves to what should be in the lease too.
Well, the thing is, Mr. Glidden, really, if you look at the old landlord and tenant law, it really doesn't go into detail about what should really be in a lease. That's another thing, the residential tenancies amendment. Well, the initial residential tenancies, which was passed in 2009, did address that, and they've kind of modernized it. So it does address, terms of notice and what to do with the deposit, how to hold the deposit, what the deposit is supposed to be used for. I think with the collaboration, the government did it is a really new extensive document, and I'd love to see them put it out there. I know they were working on it, and I know this new government has endeavored that they will get it out. I'd just like to see it out sooner than later, and it really would solve a lot of problems, because it is, we've seen other media sources are highlighting persons that are taking deposits for the same property over and over and over and over. And we've seen, I know of high-ranking officials in government who have taken monies from persons who've had utilities cut off and still charging persons for utilities. And there's really nowhere for persons to go and complain. The police can't do anything because it's a civil matter, so they'll tell you to go to the courts and file a civil suit. It's a tedious process when we can just have a tribunal we can have all the laws come out there. I've seen where management companies are taking advantage of people. They're raising rents 5 times per year. I've been shown documents, management companies raising rents 5 times in 1 year.
Wow.
Now that is ridiculous, and it's at least $100 each time. And so we need to have this legislation out. It will, and it will also mandate how tenants, because it's not only for landlords, but how tenants move around and rent properties and their behaviors. We see a lot of properties don't want children, or they don't want any Department of Financial Assistance. I also hope that the government is working on that process to make that process a little more seamless, so it doesn't take up to over 60 days or so for landlords, if their hearts are willing to allow tenancies for using that assistance. That the government is working on making that process a little more seamless. And I encourage property owners also to register with the Department of Financial Assistance, so they can know who is willing to work with their programs. And like I said, I can't remember everything in the amendment right now, but it is a pretty extensive document. It's way past time to have it, and so I think it will solve. And like you were saying quickly, that there's a lot of rentals out there, but who are they marketing to? We know that for sure because we see that every day. But if you didn't have anything else to shoot at me, I'm just going to jump off and let someone else have a turn.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the call. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
We're going to take a break. Be right back.
Hey, Bobo, TD, cousin, everybody. I hear Cayman Airways celebrating their 57th anniversary by giving us the gifts, about 10 of them, because they got airfares on sale now for flights to every place they fly to next month through December. Look here, I gonna book my flights now to go gallivanting this month with Cayman Airways. I'll see you directly.
Catch your seat on sale by August 11th. Other conditions apply. Book on CaymanAirways.com, our new mobile app, or call us on 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 57 years as your award-winning, uniquely Caymanian airline.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Are you a Caymanian job seeker? Work urges Caymanians to use the Work Jobs portal, the only platform that allows Work to verify that Caymanians are being considered first, as the law requires. You can browse job listings across a wide range of sectors and apply directly from the portal. Register today by visiting work.ky. That's worc.ky, or email customer care at worc@gov.ky for assistance. Don't miss your chance. Your career opportunity could just be a few clicks away.
Start. Stop. That's how long it takes to react to a child crossing the street. How long would it take you to apply the brakes? How long would it take the parents to forgive you? How long would it take you to forgive yourself? Slow down. Save a life. Not only theirs, but your own. Texting, speeding, and ignoring safety rules can cost lives. Visit gov.ky/road safety to learn more and help keep our roads safe.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and what is on your mind? We have a WhatsApp caller. Let's find out what's on his or her mind. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Good afternoon. You're here with me. I know. I'll always get a call from you. How you doing?
Okay. Thankful.
What's up today?
Well, I heard on the news there's an increase in mental health problems with our young people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's my belief what is a big part of that cause is our young people seeing the stress that their parents are going through concerning the cost of living.
Okay.
Because when children see their parents going through stress, it stresses the children more than it does the parents.
They're worried for their parents.
Yes, and they're also worried about their own futures. Because when they see their parents struggling the way that they are, and when they start thinking about themselves and their future, it practically seems hopeless. So when it comes to the cost of living in the Cayman Islands, the government needs to get serious and do what they're capable of doing and what they have the power to do to bring down the cost of living. I heard a lot of candidates speaking about the cost of living in their campaigns, especially when they were having questions and answers with the Chamber of Commerce. And it seems as though a lot of them had the solutions.
Everybody had a plan.
Know that we do have a government that we have now with intelligent human beings who, from their past experiences when it comes to finances, because of the work that they had, they're supposed to know what the solutions are and to work towards those solutions. Because if we are now having problems with our young people with an increase in mental health, if the government does not take care of the main reason what is causing these mental health problems, which is the cost of living and stress and depression and anxiety, then it's only going to get worse. And doctors giving our young people medications isn't going to help, because we don't want them to be dependent upon medications. So as they say, prevention is better than cure. We have to do what we need to do to prevent any more mental health problems with our young people. And that is by bringing down the cost of living and making them feel that there's some hope for their future. And not only their future, for the future of their parents. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for the call. We have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. Good afternoon to everyone.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You hearing me okay?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
I want to talk about the freak storm we had in Cayman Brack last night. And what that was, we call it the old timers, and it is right down until last night. Bayama squall, Bayama storm. I studied that, and I was doing observation from early night when the lightning storm was east of Cayman Brack. The whole eastern sky was lit up with this almost constant lightning, heat lightning. And I was telling some friends that that's going to reach Cayman Brack around midnight or 1 o'clock, and it reached around that time. And I would estimate at West End, it blew in gusts up to about 50 or 60. There was someone at the West End Cemetery Park, and some lady hollered out when the crushed rock were all blowing up in the air like clouds of smoke. It picked up the crushed rock off the ground and strewn it all around and carried it out at sea. That was really something to watch, and that was 12:10. Most people would have been in bed, and they wouldn't heard it. I spoke with one other friend or a few other friends that they witnessed it. So it's a seasonal storm that happens. This is the first one that I've seen in about 5 years. But
What did you call it? What kind of storm?
Bayama squall.
Bayamas?
Storm. Yes, sir. And let me educate the public, whoever's listening to me, what it is. There's a place about 180 miles east-northeast of Cayman, Bayamo, Cuba, that where the high mountains are. The heat and cold in the daytime, atmospheric conditions produces heat lightning, and the wind be from the east-northeast. It evolves in the daytime, and gradually the wind blows it down towards Cayman Brac, and it mostly reaches around midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, up to about 3 o'clock, when most people are fast asleep, and a lot of people doesn't get to experience it. But I have.
So it only occurs in the nighttime.
Yes, sir. Only in the nighttime, right? That's how the atmospheric pressures direct it due to the cooling down of the atmosphere, cooler in the nighttime. And if you ever come over to the Brac, and it starts around June, July, August through September every year. But this one last night was the heaviest one I've seen in about 5 years. So we don't know what tonight will be, or look out for it, and your house stay up late in the night like me to really see these things. And it blew over signposts, it blew over garbage cans, and it had 5-gallon buckets thrown over the place. It went up to 15, 60 miles an hour wind, and if somebody was out at sea tailing off fishing for snappers in the nighttime, an aluminum boat, it can be very dangerous. The sea.
But that's almost like tropical storm winds.
Yeah, that's right. Almost like tropical storm. I watched the sea grape trees just bowing and blowing and twisting about. Man, that was something to watch. And it started, I seen it about 8 o'clock, because I look out for it every night, and I've been educating people about it, what a Bayama squall is. And we've been going to the lighthouse and with friends and watching for it. Some nights it will come, and the lightning is so intense that it will burn up the moisture in the clouds and just dissipate the clouds, that it doesn't turn into the storm and reach Cayman Brac. But last night it was such an enormous storm, cloud formation, and so much lightning, and the phenomenon about it at about 11:30 until about 11:30. From 8 o'clock till about 11:30, the eastern sky was all lit. Far away, it was like probably 40 miles when I seen it first. And 11:30 last night, that intense lightning had subdued, and you would only see an occasional flash of lightning. Then a huge black cloud formed into one large area, and then the wind brought that towards the island, and that was what had that strong wind in it. And I only heard thunder like maybe 1 o'clock after it had passed. But by 1 o'clock, the skies were almost clear again. So it comes quickly, and it just dissipates into nothing, goes away into vapor. So a Bayama squall, that's what that is called. And talking about a freak thing, it is a freak thing, but this is something been going on from time the island's been inhabited, and the old timers named it a Bayama.
Bayama. Okay.
Yeah. B-I-A-M-I. Yeah, Bayama. B-I-A-M-I-A. Bayama.
I've never heard of that. Was there any damage?
Well, it shut down the island's electricity in Spot Bay and also on the south side because wires are blown and touched together, and probably maybe some branch hit wires as well. Yes, it had caused power outages, and I know one sign up on the bluff, one big sign, like 8 by 10 sheet of plywood on big post. It just blew that down, slapped it down on the ground. Yes, it did some very minor damage, but had lots of people unhappy without electricity. Right now we got a temperature at 94 degrees, and the lowland Cayman Brac is a little bit cooler. If you on the bluff now, it's around 98 degrees because the heat is being emitted out of the solid rock. 2/3 of the island is a bluff.
Yeah.
And that heat gets into that bluff. And also in the nighttime, if we have a thunderstorm, and we will be getting that later in the year as well, when the thunderstorms approach Cayman Brac, they be above Cayman Brac, and then all that heat is emitted out of the bluff going up into the clouds is like putting gas on a fire. That's why we've been having so many lightning strikes in recent years because of the extreme temperature, and it's going in the atmosphere and combining with the electrical storm, lightning.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us that report. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Hey, Bobo, Tiri, cousin, everybody. I hear Cayman Airways celebrating their 57th anniversary by giving us the gifts, about 10 of them. Because they got airfares on sale now for flights to every place they fly to next month through December. Look here, I go and book my flights now to go Galawantan this month with Cayman Airways. I'll see you directly.
Catch your seat on sale by August 11th. Other conditions apply. Book on CaymanAirways.com, our new mobile app, or call us on 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 57 years as your award-winning, uniquely Caymanian airline.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Storms bring wind, rain, and unexpected costs to buy supplies, secure your home, or make minor repairs. Incidental expenses not covered by insurance. Until now, with Cineco's parametric coverage, you get automatic payouts within 2 to 3 weeks of a Category 3 or stronger hurricane, whether or not you have damage. Available only through Cineco's homeowners insurance. Visit Cineco.ky to get a quote today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Hey,
It's a sizzling summer with J&. Money. You can win a luxury weekend getaway for two when you send or receive money from now until September 30, 2025. That's right. We're turning up the heat this summer with J&. Money. Visit www.jnmoneyonline.com to learn more about how to win. What are you waiting for? Send, win, relax this summer with J&. Money.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and got some WhatsApp messages here. One that came to me was a news item saying U.S. may require visa applicants to post a bond of up to $15,000 U.S. before entry. And looking at a Reuters news story on that, yeah, it's going to be put into effect August 20th. But it's aimed at countries, people coming from countries that have a high overstayer rate. So hopefully that is not going to be the case for Cayman, that we have to post a bond to go in to the U.S. On a tourist visa. But apparently some countries will. For example, it seems like Haiti is on the list. Some other countries in Africa. And effective August 20th, the new visa program will last for approximately a year. Consular officers will have three options for visa applicants subjected to the bonds: $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000, but will generally be expected to require at least $10,000. Their funds will be returned to travelers if they depart in accordance with the terms of their visa. Well, I think Cayman will escape that one. Some other messages here. Good afternoon. Well, regarding cargo, how comes illegal drugs have no problem being shipped in? From where? It has to be a flight. That's what we're saying. If you're going to get an alternative source of goods, you have to have a way of shipping them here. That's what we're talking about. Not that there are already flights and there's the trouble with cargo. And the time is 2 o'clock, and that means we have to find out what's making headlines. We'll be back.
We are Radio Cayman,
covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. Police are reminding drivers to be vigilant following a surge in vehicle thefts this summer, with 18 stolen or attempted stolen vehicles reported since the beginning of July. Hondas are the most frequently targeted. Most of the incidents have taken place overnight in Georgetown and West Bay, often when vehicles were left unlocked. Police are urging the public to lock up and take extra precautions. In international headlines, authorities in Scotland canceled trains, closed parks, and warned people to tie down backyard trampolines as an unusually strong summer storm toppled trees, felled power lines, and disrupted travel against northern Britain. The UK's Meteorological Office today issued an amber wind warning in Scotland for Storm Florence, meaning there is potential risk to lives and property, especially from large waves in coastal areas. A trial began today under tight security for 19 defendants accused of involvement in last year's shooting rampage in a Moscow concert hall that killed 149 people and wounded more than 600 in one of the deadliest attacks in the capital in years. A faction of the Islamic State group claimed responsibility for the March 22, 2024 massacre at Crocus City Hall concert venue, in which 4 gunmen shot people who were waiting for a show by a popular rock band and then set the building on fire. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Welcome back. A quick check on the weather at Owen Roberts International. 90 degrees, the feels like temp. 102 winds, 7.5 knots out of the southeast, and we are having a forecast. The forecast calls for thunderstorms through the afternoon and into the night, and the radar is showing some, showers, scattered showers, I guess you would call them, in the Grand Cayman area over the Sister Islands, the same thing. And another WhatsApp message here regarding what I think it was Raymond was telling us about happened in BRAC last night. We had this WhatsApp now is saying, we had gusts of 20 to 25 miles an hour at 12:05 last night on the west end of Cayman Brac. It lasted for about 20 minutes. I thought it was a storm. It was tropical storm winds, very unexpected. And we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the Air Talk today.
Mr. Glidden, it's Raymond again.
Yeah.
I got an interesting story to talk about a Cayman Brac seaman that is active on a tugboat up in New York, and he had the opportunity to assist the world's newest container ship to escort it up to the port of New York. The newest container ship in the world, and it's owned by the Chinese company. And it was carrying around 12,000 containers, came from Shanghai, China, through the Panama Canal, right to New York. At 1,200 feet long, 167 feet wide, carried the maximum capacity is 16,882 containers, almost 17,000. And that was the first cargo that it ever carried from China direct to New York, and with all the taxes being imposed on shipments coming into America from China, we had ships carrying up to 75,000 containers through the Caribbean from China, South Korea, and Japan here during the last week. So that will show you 75,000 containers of products from China, Japan, and South Korea.
Well, that should have put some money in the coffers of the U.S. when they collect all that.
Yes, sir. That is right. And they're going to Savannah, Georgia, mostly, New York, Newark, New Jersey, Norfolk, Virginia, Charleston, South Carolina, Philadelphia. They are mainly the giant ports to take these monster ships. Also, Kingston, Jamaica, has the arrival of a 1,200-footer every few days coming direct from South Korea, offloading 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 containers at Kingston, and then proceeds to Savannah, Georgia, Norfolk, Virginia, and New York. That's a round trip that those ships are doing.
That's transshipment, right?
Yeah.
They drop them off, and then somebody else picks them up.
Yes, they come from the Far East and land off in Kingston in the massive storage facility yard there, and then ships load them up and carry them all over the world. Plenty of them passes here as well, going to Mariel, Cuba, Veracruz, Mexico, United States, all over the world. That is a booming business in Kingston, Jamaica. It's the largest transshipment hub in the Caribbean. The next one is Dominican Republic and Cartagena, Colombia. They are just very large transshipment hubs, and they're just increasing. And what Caymanians will be seeing in the near future, to look out at sea and see container ships passing by with 20,000 containers up to 1,312 feet long coming from the Far East, going to Houston, Texas, and New Orleans. They will be carrying an average of 20,000 containers. Some will carry 22,000. They're getting the port in New Orleans ready now to accommodate those monster ships. They have bought the cranes in Shanghai, China, shipped them to New Orleans, and shipped them to Houston, getting ready for this massive global trade with China and Korea mainly.
All right. Well, thank you, Raymond.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon.
You have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. A WhatsApp message here. We were talking about tenants and landlords earlier in the show. And this person is saying, in regards to tenants, all that is needed is a standard form agreement. Government cannot do everything except for the poor. Government should not interfere with market rates. So I guess what they're proposing is that if you're going to be renting property, that a standard form is created, and that has all of the terms that should be in there. I guess you can fill in the blanks, whether it's, give 30 days notice, or you want them to give 60 days notice to break a lease. But I guess it could be a plausible thing to do if government created such a form and said if you're going to rent, then this is the form that you use, and you fill in the blanks there, the dates, the names, certain terms, the length, how long is the lease going to be. That might be something that might have some workability there. But do not interfere with the market rates. In some places like New York, they have rent control. And I guess what this person is saying, you don't want to see that in Cayman, that where you move into a place and a place becomes under rent control, that the landlord cannot raise the rent on you. Whether the lease comes to an end or not, as long as you don't move out, that the rent does not increase. But I guess you would have to have some kind of open-ended agreement that there is no limit on when you can stay there. And as long as you don't move out, then the rent remains the same. I was watching a show the other night. If you think the rents in Cayman are high, New York is absolutely ridiculous. Lots of times they try and force the people out so that they can increase the rent or tear down the building. They turn off the hot water in the winter, do all sorts of things to make life miserable for the tenants to try and make them move out. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on there with Talk Today.
Hey, Mr. Glidden, it's me calling back.
Yes.
Yes. I if in case that message may have been referring to my call, I wasn't trying to imply
I think so.
Government. Yeah, I wasn't trying to imply that government should interfere in market rates. I was basically, as I said, that I realized every person that's really renting are renting at market rates, and that doesn't mean that I think government should interfere in that. I have said before that I think it should be something government could look into.
Rent control?
Yes, and in certain areas, because it's done in other countries. But I will say to the message that the caller, the composer could be right, that you could draw up an agreement and place certain things in it, but in the absence of an act or the law that specifically deals and addresses with these things, people could just put whatever they want to put in there, and sometimes some of those things could be unreasonable. I mean, the renters don't have to comply with it, but in a destitute market as Cayman's right now, people are finding themselves, landlords may be, putting things in there that because they're aware certain things are not in the law, and certain things, other areas of the law may not be able to police, and then renters are aware that some of these things may seem a little unreasonable, or, well, I can't find anywhere else, so let me go and accept some of these terms and conditions. And so that is the shortfall of not actually having, no, government can't do everything, but it is government's responsibility to make sure that there are laws and policies in place to protect its people in a fair and reasonable manner, and also to make sure that life is I forget the terminology of it right at this moment, but that life is enjoyable and manageable. And so that is government's responsibility, and this falls under that. So government has to make laws. They should be making laws, and it is their responsibility to do so. And that includes giving guidance on how to compose leases and agreements for rentals, because I've seen some agreements with some unreasonable, some unreasonable terms in there. So that's why I'm saying this. And we it's unfairness, and there's a lot of people that knows there's really no governance.
Oh, yeah.
There's nowhere for someone to go and complain. There's no grievance board. The ombudsman office at this point do not handle those types of grievances. There's really no place. So, it's a predatory market out there. And yes, the government has to do everything in terms of this particular instance.
And also, when a tenant, you put a 10-page lease in front of someone, especially if their English is not up to standard, they look at it and it's daunting. Like, okay, I'm going to have to read 10 pages of this to find out what's in it, and they see that as a burden. To try and read through 10 pages of a lease. And some of it is written in very legalese.
That's deliberate and intentional.
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so that's another reason
to even understand exactly what it means for even a person whose first language is English is sometimes difficult.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's another thing that I think we should cover in the landlords and tenant law. What should be in a lease, and how long leases should be, and the verbiage of the leases and that sort of thing. So,
but I could see where that simple form could, help with that.
Yes, yes.
That everything is in very plain language, and it's not strung out. Excuse me, not strung out to 10 pages of a lot of hair width and hair that, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I wanted to throw in a little joke here. I was about to say with Mr. Raymond's call about the wind and the gust in Cayman Brac, I wanted to say it could have been the Maycow rolling in, but then of course it's August. So this is a fellow half Bracker. I wanted to throw that in there because my mom is from the Brac. But I just wanted to give that a little feedback there on the message that you read, because I do agree that with the writer that government, they doesn't necessarily have to be, they could just put something together, but then I've seen things that are put together. People go online and look up other.
They got a template.
That sort of thing, yes, and then they put things in there, and some of those things do become legal issues, and then what? Most of the renters can't afford to deal with these issues legally, So I mean, thankfully the Honorable Chief Justice hasn't raised the fees for the small claims plead. It's still only $25, and anyone that has grievances with landlord and tenants can go out to the courts and ask for some guidance. They can't give legal advice, but they can give them the forms and the booklet, and it gives very clear and precise and simplified instructions on how to file a plaint. But that's time and consuming too, and you still have to know how to do those things, or in the absence of a lawyer. And so we really need to, like I said, I just wanted to call back and give that little 2 cents that I still think it's government's responsibility to get that act out.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Well, hopefully we'll see something happening.
Yes, thanks.
Yes, the landlord-tenant relationships, they can get very, very deep and conflicted. But I know I've rented to people, and one of the things that I try to do is to point out the more important parts of the lease to them, not rely that they are going to actually read it. Maybe even bold certain things like the 30 days notice to break a lease, or the actual dates of it, because some people they see a document like that, and you want to make sure that you are covered, that there are provisions in the lease, so that if anything goes wrong, that you're not left holding the stick, or in this case damaged property, or if someone just get up one morning, decides I'm moving out, and you're left there, and maybe the rent hadn't even been paid for that month, and so you're out a month's rent. Now you got to try and rent the place, and maybe there's even damage to the place, and you got to take care of that before you can get it rented. So the provisions have to be in the lease to cover the landlord, but you got to be fair to the tenant also. We have to take a break, but we'll be back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Hey, Bobo, TD, cousin, everybody. I hear Cayman Airways celebrating their 57th anniversary by giving us the gifts, about 10 of them. Because they got airfares on sale now for flights to every place they fly to next month through December. Look here, I gonna book my flights now to go Galawantan this month with Cayman Airways. I'll see you directly.
Catch your seat on sale by August 11th. Other conditions apply. Book on CaymanAirways.com, our new mobile app, or call us on 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 57 years as your award-winning, uniquely Caymanian airline.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Are you a Caymanian job seeker? Work urges Caymanians to use the Work Jobs portal, the only platform that allows work to verify that Caymanians are being considered first, as the law requires. You can browse job listings across a wide range of sectors and apply directly from the portal. Register today by visiting work.ky. That's worc.ky, or email customer care at worc@gov.ky for assistance. Don't miss your chance. Your career opportunity could just be a few clicks away.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. We got about 7 minutes left in the show. If you want to get in on a conversation here, you can pick up the phone, give me a call. Don't wait too long. Less than 7 minutes left in the show. We've been talking about landlord-tenant relationships, unusual storm in Cayman Brac last night, and cost of living increases. And I mentioned among the things that can contribute to inflation is increased wages. And, you know, we here in the Cayman Islands will see an increase in the minimum wage come January. And it will be interesting to see what happens in the months that follow after that, when our minimum wage will go up to, what is it, $8.75, and what follows in the months afterwards will be quite interesting. And I did a little research here saying if increased wages can contribute to inflation. Yes, they can, but it's not a simple direct cause and effect relationship. While higher wages can lead to increased demand for goods and services, which can drive up prices, other factors like supply chain issues and corporate profits also play a significant role in inflation. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
I'm all right, and you?
I'm doing good. Just a few words about the conversation you're talking about tenants and landlords. Out front, landlords should take more interest in seeing who they're going to rent their apartments or properties to.
Vet them properly.
Exactly. Not just somebody says, well, you know, I got the money. You need to have a background check as well. The places that I rent, it's a place that I would stay in.
Mm-hmm.
I want my tenants to feel as good as I do in my area or in my house.
Right.
So if anyone complains about the landlords, well, I don't know each and every landlord, but a good landlord, a proper landlord should set the precedence for who you're going to rent to. You know, some people...
Do you ask for a job letter to make sure that they're working?
Make sure that they're working and not just get references, but have a little while to check their background and see what they're all about. Because sometimes they give you references is out of this world. It's so beautiful, but that's not the case. So, and when you got to do repairs on top of your place, it's not cheap.
Right.
You know, you got to come up with the money if you're going to get it done, or don't think about it. So I don't see that landlords are really making a killing off of these apartments unless they got, you know, umpteen apartments they're renting. And a decent tenant is looking for a decent place to stay. Clean, not overcrowded, not a pile of cars in the yard. You know, keep your place good, and you will always get good tenants to rent your place. Thank you so much, y'all. I'll see you in the next round.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the call and that input. Have a good afternoon. And that's true. I mean, you know, if you rent a place that you would not want to live in, who are you going to attract, you know? Probably not someone who's going to respect the property, because if it's already dilapidated and you're renting it out, they come in and, you know, there's already that feeling there that this is, you know, look at what they're renting me for, and look at what they're charging, you know, and if they damage something, oh well, you know, place is already in bad shape anyway, you know, who cares? But if you rent a place and it's a decent place, you know, the person in there will have more of an attitude of trying to keep the place nice. And those are the kind of people that you would be wanting to attract, someone who will take care of the place, because that is where they're living. You know, that is where they're going to come home to and sleep, and they're going to be spending their weekends in. So they don't want to be in a place that's nasty, or, you know, it's falling apart. There are those kind of places that, you know, you see people actually put out for rent. And so the person who's going to be attracted to living in that kind of place isn't going to be the kind of person that is, you know, going to be caring for what happens to that place. And if you don't spend money on it and keep it maintained, what kind of person are you going to attract? So all of those kind of things go in to the relationship between tenants and landlords. And like he was saying, knowing who you are renting to. Do they have a job? You know, you can't pay the rent if you're not working. Well, we're coming down to the end of the line here. We're going to wrap it up for this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in and making me a part of your afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden. You take care.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital.